Hello my dear students, in this video we are going to discuss about gold rush and the growth of industrialization in North India. Beta, what is gold rush? Gold rush is the rush of the people from the European countries occur in North America because of the news of the finding of the gold in the region of North America. Okay, now we discuss in detail. There was always the hope that the gold can be found in the region of America. And in 1840s, this hope get confirmed when the traces of gold were found in the region of California, which is one of the state of USA. And this led, the found of the traces of gold in USA led to the gold rush in North America. Thousands of eager Europeans now started coming to North America in the hope of making their good fortune, better future, in the hope of a better future. And because of this, when the thousands of Europeans took up the way to the North America, this thing led to the building of the railway line in North America. Now the building of the railway line started in North America for the transportation of the good and the people. And for the purpose of the building of the railway lines, thousands of Chinese workers were recruited in North America. And the railway, building of the railway lines in North America completed means when it get complete, when it connect the whole of the continent of North America. So it get completed in USA in 1870s and in Canada in 1885. In USA 1870s and in Canada 1885. So student, after the coming of the railway in USA, now the scene changes. Now the Industrial Revolution came in USA, in North America mainly. As you have studied in the chapter Industrial Revolution, beta, the reasons behind the coming of the Industrial Revolution in England was different. Why Industrial Revolution came in England? It came because the after the coming of the enclosure movement, in which the land was taken away from the small farmers. Small farmer land were taken away by the big farmers, and the small farmers became landless. They moved towards the city. There they started working in the industries, and the number of industries and the workers keep on increasing. Because these people became unemployed, now they started doing some other work. So this was the reason behind the coming of the Industrial Revolution, one of the reasons behind the coming of the Industrial Revolution in England. But here in North America, the scene is different. Here the reason behind the coming of the Industrial Revolution, the first reason was the coming of railway line. And the second reason was that, as you know, the land which was there in North America was taken away by the white people who came, by the new settler who came from Europe, and now they have a big farms for themselves. So now here Industrial Revolution came for making the equipment for doing the agriculture in those big farms, for having a large scale production. So here Industrial Revolution helped in producing the equipments which will help in making the large scale agriculture possible. And as I told you in the chapter of Industrial Revolution that in the second phase of Industrial Revolution, USA and Germany were the leading countries, and second phase started after the coming of the Industrial Revolution, that is after 1850s. The second phase of Industrial Revolution started, and this second phase of Industrial Revolution, in this second phase started by the coming of the railway, and in the second phase the leading countries were, as I told you, Germany and USA. So this is the scene connected to that. So after the coming of railway in USA, when it railway connected the whole of the continent of North America, then by 1860s, you know, till the 1860s, USA had an underdeveloped economy. But after the coming of the Industrial Revolution, by the 1890s, North America became the leading industrial power. Leading industrial power means the second phase after 1850s, the railway came in there, and after that, USA became the leading industrial power. By 1892, USA continental expansion done. Continental expansion means USA keep on expanding its land through the treaties by buying them from the native people through the treaties, or by buying them from other European countries. Like you know, earlier the 13 colonies were there in America, and these colonies were under various European power. Like some were under French, some colonies were under the Britishers. In this way, it was scattered, distributed among various European power. But by 1832, USA continental expansion, it keep on buying its land from these European power, and it completed its expansion, today's map which is there. And USA started setting up its colonies, and after completing its continental expansion, becoming one of the leading industrial power of the world, now USA started its colonial expansion. Now it also took up the track of the European power, as the European power were doing the imperialists, making their colonies in various parts of the world. Now USA also came on that track. It also started having the colony. It also became the imperial power. So the some of the colonies under the USA were like the Hawaii, the Philippines. These lands became the colony under the USA. Now student, we talk about the topic constitutional right. As you know, when these new settler, the white European, came to North America and they get settled over there, before that, when they came from their country, from France or from England or from Germany, from various their countries, then there, you know, at that time in 10th standard you have studied that there was a monarchy in those countries. So what these people demanded in those countries, they were against the aristocratic right, they were against the monarchy, and they talk about the constitutional right, the democratic right should be given to the citizens in their country, like the right to vote, citizenship right, right to have the property. But when these new settlers, when these white people, white Europeans came to USA, they themselves denied all these democratic rights for the native people. You have seen, they have taken the citizenship right from these native people. The property right was also taken away from these people. They were not allowed to give the vote. So this was a kind of a you can say two faces of these white people. On one side, for themselves, they demand for the democratic right, and when the turn came to give to others, then they were against giving these democratic rights. So because of these two phases, the native people, the Red Indians, suffered a lot. But the wind of change, under this topic you will study that how the changes came in America, how the thinking of these white people started changing. It started changing after the Great Economic Depression. You know, Great Economic Depression came in 1929 when the world economy was sinking. And at that time, these white people started feeling sympathetic toward these Red Indians. Because during this time of the Great Depression, already the economic condition, the financial condition was not good, and during this time many of them died because of the economic crisis. So now the white Americans started feeling a sympathy for these native people, and because of after that, in the year 1934, Indian Recognition Act came in the Parliament of USA, which gave the native the right to buy the land. After this Indian Recognition Act, now the native got the right to buy the land as well as take the loans from the bank. Before this, they were not allowed to take the loans from the bank. Sorry, excuse me. After this, in the year of 1954, another declaration came, which came to be known as the Declaration of Indian Rights. And under this declaration, it was said that we are accepting you as we are giving you the citizenship right. We are accepting you as a citizen of America, but you, in return, you have your aboriginal right, your native right, which were given to you through the treaties, were taken away. So on this issue, the tussle started between the government as well and the native people. The native people were not ready to give up their rights which they got after the signing the treaties. You know, earlier they signed the treaty while giving their land, and at that time they were promised, they were given certain rights. So now their reservation, those rights were taken away, and in return they were given the citizenship right. So the native people were not ready for this. Because of this, the tussle started between the government and the native people. In Canada also, such kind of the declaration was done in the year 1962. And finally, this tussle got over after the constitutional right, which came in 1982. And this constitutional right accepted the aboriginal rights, the native rights, which were given to them through the treaties, and it also accepted them as the citizens. So this is the whole story, student, of the North Indian native people, how their land was taken away, how they got their rights were, their democratic rights were denied, and how they finally got their democratic rights. Thank you all.